Hello, this is Astronomy 220. I'm Dr. John Golben, your instructor. Let's talk about the syllabus for this Astronomy 220 course. Here's the home page, actually really the first page that you would see when you enter the astronomy course. And the fact that you're already at this page and have made it into the course establishes that you can do great things. You know your way around the internet, you know your way into Calhoun's system, you have logged in, and you've done all those technical things that you need to do to be successful in this course, which is mainly to investigate and click and make your way around. So congratulations. You are in the course, and we wish to look at the syllabus. So I'm going to click on the syllabus folder here on the left. There are actually two items in the syllabus folder. There is a daily schedule, which you'll want to check out. This daily schedule, which the one I have set up is for spring 2013, but it will be a different schedule for every semester, and this is a rather generic video, so it will have a different dates for every semester. But this is the one for spring 2013, and you can see that there is something assigned for every day, twice a week in this schedule for the whole semester. And there are some key dates established in the semester as well. So you want to check that. Also, here's the general syllabus. This, of course, is Astronomy 220. I'm Dr. John Golben. My office is room 370C in the Math, Science, and Administration building. My phone number is given here, 306-2841, and my email address, jpg@calhoun.edu. This course covers the history of astronomy and the development of astronomical thought, leading to the birth of modern astronomy as the most recent development. Emphasis is placed on the coverage of astronomical instruments and measuring technologies, the solar system, the Milky Way galaxy, and important galactic objects in cosmology. There is a lab required. No prerequisite for this course. The book for this course is the 7th edition of Astronomy, A Beginner's Guide to the Universe by Chasen and Macmillan. 7th edition looks like this. This book can be quite pricey. I believe it's anywhere from $150 to more than $200 for this paperback book. Just as adequate for this course is the 6th edition, which before this video I checked on Amazon.com, and you could get the 6th edition for about $80. And just as adequate is the 5th edition, which you can purchase for as little as $2 on Amazon.com. If you use this edition, it will still be functional for about 99% of this course. So it is definitely fine to use for this course. I'm rather partial to this edition myself because I love the cover. It has the Eye of God on the cover of the Helix Nebula, and I just love that picture. So if you want to save some money, just order the 5th edition on Amazon.com and save you a whole bunch of money. You also may want to purchase the study questions lecture note binder that I put out, and it's available only at the Decatur bookstore. It costs a little bit more than $20. What it is a printout of all the lecture slides that I will show you, and it also has a printout of all the study questions. Those same information, that same information is available online within this course itself. So if you actually, let's temporarily put this down. If you actually went into each chapter and say looked under the folder that says Adobe PDF files. So here's chapter 0. You go in there, and you can see a prologue. There's 2 lectures in the prologue. The lecture notes are given here as PDF files, and the study questions are a PDF file as well. So these are the same printouts available online within the course that you would get in the binder. So truly, you don't have to actually leave your house to even go to the bookstore to buy something. You can still download it and off of the course shell here to get all your lecture notes. We'll close that. Back to the syllabus. Course objectives. We're going to use a telescope. Describe the major objectives in the objects in the solar system, the major objects in the universe. Define terminology used in astronomy, the major contributors in astronomy over the years, major events in the origin of the universe, and current topics in space exploration. All these will be ongoing, intertwined throughout the course. Outline of topics: history and development of astronomy. We'll study the production and detection of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is the study of light. Actually, pretty much everything we learn in astronomy is from the study of light, because most of the places that we're going to talk about, most of the objects we're going to talk about, are just too far away for us to even go there. Human beings have only made it to the moon. We have not gone beyond. So for everything beyond the planets, beyond our solar system, we have to obtain our information from the use of light. So we have to believe in the science of how we can look at the different frequencies and wavelengths of light and the different properties of light, both as a particle and as a wave, to figure out what's actually going on out there. At some point, we'll look at the theory and construction of telescopes. We'll study the Earth-Moon system, which is a system we should know very well. It's the closest environment. The solar system in general, all the planets, all the other objects in the solar system like asteroids and comets and moons. The sun's structure, we'll study what's inside the sun. Obviously, we'll never actually go into the sun. Any kind of probe that we would send into the sun would melt. But there are ways to obtain information about what's happening inside the sun. So we'll study that. Properties and evolutions of stars and galaxies. We'll study that through the course as well, and the structure of the universe. Instructional methods, the streaming videos. There will be 2 videos for each chapter, or sometimes 3. Each video is approximately 45 to 55 minutes long. They represent a lecture that I would give to a stand-up class. Normally those classes last about an hour and 15 minutes. So if you condense those lectures down where you don't actually have the interaction between the class, questions by the students or pauses that we're explaining things off on the side, then the lectures get kind of condensed down to 45 to 55 minutes. So that's what each of these lectures represents. In the chapters where there are 3 lectures, the lectures are shorter, about 35 minutes or so. You have study questions to be answered by watching these lectures, looking at the notes, reading the book. Other possibilities is you could start a thread in the discussion groups and just kind of put it out there. Look, I'm studying this question. I think the answer is this. This is why. What do you think? And others within the class will put in their 2 cents. I will monitor these discussions to see that they don't go awry, and then you can actually ascertain the answers to some of the more difficult questions that way. Or use the internet. You can use a Google search or Bing or Yahoo search engine to find answers to some of the tougher questions. But that is your main goal in this course, is to find the answers to these study questions. And that's what will be your study time. There will also be interactive and illustrative online labs. All the labs will be online, except, in a sense, the Moon Project, which is worth 2 labs. And the Moon Project you will do outside your house or your location to take data on the moon. You'll collect that data and you'll enter it on a Excel worksheet, the template which will be provided within the course here, or a Word document also provided as a template, or on a PDF sheet where you could just put the data in, and then when you're done, scan it and send it back to me as a JPG file or scanned file. Main thing is that most of what you do will be online, except for this Moon Project, which you actually do and send it to me online by the due date. More on the Moon Project later in Chapter 5. Online resources and links to additional information. The subject of astronomy is a very dynamic and changing subject. It is one of the most morphing subjects there is currently. Information that we're discussing and talking about is changing every year, every month, every week, every day, every second. We learn something every day, and it changes the perspective of how we're looking at even things that we're introducing in this course. So we'll constantly be looking at current events, online resources, and there are many links to additional information within this course. If you look at the external links tab on the left of your main screen. Grading plan. There will be 11 quizzes, including the final. This will constitute 80% of your final grade. The 95% of the questions for those quizzes will come directly from the question sets that you either get in the binder that you would purchase at the bookstore, like I said, for 20-some bucks, which has a printout and of all my lecture slides and the question sets. Or, like I said, you can look at the PDF files in each chapter and get those question sets there. But 95% of the questions will come from there, and they'll include multiple choice, true, false, and fill-in-the-blank questions. The fill-in-blanks will be modified to act as multiple choice questions on the quizzes. It's just easier to grade that way, have instantaneous grade, and that actually makes it a little bit easier for you, because if you weren't sure that you had the right answer in the fill-in-the-blank, then you'll have 5 choices there on the multiple choice to answer the fill-in-the-blank. Also, the quizzes will include 2 essay questions. The essay questions are introduced in order to demonstrate or have you demonstrate examples of your writing ability. That is something that is required in all of Calhoun's courses, including the online courses, that the students should have examples of their writing ability. And so I will have to grade those essay questions. So all your quizzes will have 2 essay questions. They'll be worth the 5 out of the 50 points on your quizzes. And before you get your final grade on each quiz, you'll have to wait for me to look at it and grade the essay questions. I'll grade the essay questions based on your answer, the content of your answer to the question, how complete you are, and I'll have to grade it based on your grammar and spelling. Make sure you put periods in there, things like that. So that is something that will be a interesting part of each quiz. So there are 11 quizzes. You're allowed to drop one. So your lowest quiz will be dropped automatically at the end. That could be the final. The final just acts like a glorified quiz. It is comprehensive over the whole course. It possibly could be your hardest quiz, even though the questions are taken from each of the previous 10 quizzes. But you want to have the option of going through the course, doing well in your first 10 quizzes, and having that option of dropping the final. Just saying, okay, that's going to be the quiz, and then drop. So you don't want to start out slow and drop your first quiz and then start from behind like that. So anyway, those 11 quizzes will constitute 80% of your final grade. Then your laboratory average will be 20% of your final grade. So if you were to calculate your course average, you would take your quiz average, multiply that by 0.8, add that to your lab average, multiply that by 0.2, add those together, and that will give you your course average as a percentage. Then you take that percentage, put it on a grade scale, A, B, C, D, F, A being 90% to 100%, B 80% to 89%, and so forth and so on. So the usual grade scale, A, B, C, D, F, will apply. Attendance in this course will be recorded within the first week, and your demonstration of your attendance in the first week will be solely by you taking the fun quiz, which is located in the Start Here folder. More on that later. But you will take that fun quiz, which is kind of a quiz on general things, and including this orientation syllabus discussion. So there's no grade for the fun quiz, but it will establish your attendance in the first week of this course, which is important because you should establish your attendance for financial aid consideration or just for your location in the course. So you want to take that fun quiz before the end of this first week. Final exam for this spring semester, that is Thursday, May 2nd, 2013. Every other semester there will be a different date for this final exam. Note that the MOON project will be due on the last day of the semester by 5 p.m. on that last day. So that's a little bit different. The last day of the semester is not the final exam. It is the last day of the official semester before final exams begin. Withdrawal policy. If you have excessive absences, if you're not showing your work, after the first week, your attendance will be recorded by your activity in the course, doing quizzes or watching videos. All those show that you're doing activity in the course, and it is recorded that way, so we know that you're active in the course, starting discussion threads and things like that. So you want to be active in the course, and if you're not active in the course, then at some point you may decide to withdraw, seeing that you're not keeping up to the pace. The date for withdrawal is typically 3/4 of the way through the semester. I've kind of selected the date April 5th for this semester, but you'll have to calculate or look on Calhoun's other information to figure out what that date is for your particular semester. Disability statement. If you have a disability, please contact Calhoun's Disability Services Office in the Chastain Student Center, room 220G. Call one of those numbers and let me know so that we can make this the best possible experience for you in this course. Help desk. If you have technical problems, then you can contact the help desk. This is dealing with Blackboard or your possible browser problems. Then you can contact the help desk, and hopefully they can help you address those problems. Communication. We will basically do almost all of our communication in the messages function of this course. So if you need to contact me, send me a message through the messages function. And other things you can do is attach PDFs to those messages. So if you were doing the Moon project and you saved it on an Excel file, and then you can save as a PDF file, and you could send your completed Moon project as an attachment to a message to me. Other ways of communicating, we'll have the discussion threads, and this has really been a dynamic part of this course in the past, where you can introduce a thread. Maybe it might be a current event. It might be a discussion about a question in general, or several questions for the quiz coming up. And you get some feedback from other students and, say, from me as well. In fact, one of the first things you might want to do is check the discussion threads as this first week. One of the threads is to introduce yourself. And we would like you to introduce yourself, maybe include a picture of yourself, because it's kind of nice to put a face with a name. And as you're interacting with other students and with myself, then we know who we're talking to. I personally have an introduction already, which is in a faculty information tab on the main screen. So if you go in there, you'll get my introduction. You have made it into this course, so you know how to log in, but in case you forget or what you did, your username is your C number, your password is Cal, and the last 5 digits of your Calhoun C number. And for your email, you have a space email account with Calhoun. That is the first initial of your last name, your first initial plus your last name, plus the last 5 digits of your C number as well. And that will be your space email account. I will not be using space email in particular. So I'll be using the messages function, or I'll respond to any emails that you send me to my main email address, jpg@calhoun.edu. So that is the syllabus. Let's close that. Like I said, you will want to check the daily schedule. Basically, the schedule is set up so that you have 3 nights for every chapter. Here on the first day, it says watch orientation videos. That'll be your first day. But then from everywhere on, you'll have 3 nights, basically a week and a half, for every chapter of this course. First 2 nights will be to watch lecture videos that represent the same as if you were to have a class during those nights. And then the third night will be to take the lecture quiz, which will be a quiz over the answers to your questions that you have studied for, and also to take a lab quiz. So there'll be a lab quiz for every chapter as well. And so you'll have to complete those on every third night, every week and a half. Some people like to do online courses. They like to do everything on Sunday night. Well, you can still do that. If you have a week and a half for every chapter, you can still do all your work on Sunday night, even though the quizzes will be due either on a Tuesday or a Thursday of each week and a half period. So you look through here, and there are various chapters. We intend to complete 10 chapters by the end of this semester. Other things to look for. You're looking at these orientation videos, and after this video you want to watch a video on the specifics of things you need to do in this course. But like I said, the first thing you need to do this week is to take the fun quiz, which will be under this tips for taking quizzes and the fun quiz. The fun quiz will establish your attendance in the first week. And finally, for this video, let's go back. Communication policy and etiquette. Our communication policy, as we said, is through the messages function and through the discussion function. This also, the discussions allow you to also demonstrate your writing ability and your interaction in the course. Now, I don't have a specific percentage grade assigned to that discussion function, but I have a mental grade assigned to that discussion function. In other words, if you are a constant contributor, if you're showing your expertise at discussing things within the course or contributing news items, then if it comes down to where you're on a borderline between one grade and another at the end of this semester, it's pretty easy for me to make that decision to bump you up if you were a big contributor to the course. So I'm going to use the discussion grade in that sense, where it is a decider of those borderline situations. Etiquette. Here's something for us all to remember, and I don't want to take particular credit for this because this is not something that I thought of, that's something that someone else thought of. Part of the problem with an online course is that in communication, what you don't see is all the visual information. I mean, I can give you visual information through these lectures, but in our basic communication through messages and discussion, you will not have the facial expressions, the inflections, all the 55% of communication that comes to you from the way that people are saying things and the way they express things. So it's very easy to take something the wrong way. And so you have to be very careful about how you express yourself. So be very conscious of that. Be very polite. And always think of the human being that's on the other side of the computer, on the other side of the machine, on the other side of the internet. Think about how you would like to be treated, how you would like to be talked to when you're communicating with them. So here's the golden rule of etiquette. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And this is especially true in the online environment. Try to think about how you would like to express things and maybe even think ahead about how things could possibly be taken the wrong way. So be very polite in your discussions with other students and with other people. Okay, let's look at the second video.